think it's safe to get started. So good afternoon. Again, thank you so much for joining us. My name is Chantel Smith. I am the Assistant Director of Recruitment and Inclusive Communities here in the Honors College at the University of Maryland. Joining me for this information session, we have Dr. Jenny Lang, the Associate Director of Admissions and Recruitment within the Honors College, Ms. Arushi Malhotra, our Graduate Assistant for Recruitment and Programming. And then we have a few of our current students who all have introduced themselves at the end of the presentation. So the presentation will be about 15 minutes, and then we'll be available to answer your questions, your burning questions until 1 p.m. Please make sure that you're using the Q&A feature at the bottom of your screen to ask your questions. If you're having any technical difficulties, feel free to put that information in the chat area, but your questions should be in the Q&A area so we can track them. You will have the ability to upvote questions if you see that there's a question that you want to ask as well. And then it'll be shown as a priority on our end. So without further ado, I'll go ahead and get started. So for those of you who may be wondering what the Honors College is, if you have not gotten that information yet, the Honors College at the University of Maryland is an opportunity for our invited students to join a community of faculty, staff, and other students who are dedicated to diversity, inclusivity, responsibility, and a sense of engagement within the world. Students invited to join the Honors College will join one of our 8 different living learning programs, which will provide each student with the community and opportunities to explore a focused curriculum as they pursue their honor citation. Most courses for the honor citation will satisfy general education requirements, so the courses students take in honors will help them as they work towards earning their degree. You can basically look at the Honors College as an enhancement to their education. Nothing additional, just allowing you to have a different option of classes to take in order to fulfill some of your graduation requirements, with a co-curricular component included. Our goal with this is to foster learning inside and outside of the classroom and to create a supportive, close-knit community for our students. Our 8 living learning programs offer students a wide range of concepts and ideas to explore that include cybersecurity, design, research, the humanities, business, globalization, and the life sciences. And students of all majors are welcomed into the Honors College into all of the different living learning programs. Most students will earn their honors citation within the first 2 years at UMD, but will remain members of the Honors College throughout their time at the university, taking part in social events, professional development opportunities, and other research, internship, and study abroad opportunities.
So as Chantel mentioned, we have 8 different living learning programs, and in order to participate in the Honors College, students will need to be in one of these 8 unique living learning programs. Each one has a different curriculum, an area of focus or approach which students will pursue to earn their honors citation. Hopefully by now, most of your students have submitted their preference form, and if they submitted their preference form by our February 19th deadline, they've already received an invite to one of the living learning programs. If they have not yet received an invite, please encourage your students to submit the preference form by April 15th. We'll have a second round of preferencing and then let students know before the end of April which of our programs they're in. So I'll just go quickly through these 8 different programs so you have a sense of what they all are. The first one is our Advanced Cybersecurity Experience for Students program, also known as ACES. This program will develop successful, forward-thinking cyber leaders who create a safer world by embracing both the technical and non-technical aspects of cybersecurity. Design Cultures and Creativity explores the roles and impact of design in our societies and creative practices in ways that cut across STEM and non-STEM disciplines. These students are theorists and thinkers who investigate the digital age through designing, analyzing, and creating. Gemstone is a unique multidisciplinary 4-year research program for honor students of all majors who are interested in leadership, teamwork, and social impact. Students will work in teams of about 8 to 12 students beginning at the end of their freshman year with their team, and they'll continue their research project with their team all the way through their senior year. And they will also have the guidance of a dedicated faculty mentor. Honors Global Communities is one of our 2 newest programs. The new curriculum is focused on using data science to analyze and consider global challenges. Students will have unique internship opportunities through the Global Fellows Program, and they'll have access to internships located in the DC area, which will satisfy curriculum requirements within the HGLO program. Honors Humanities is our signature program for exploring the arts and humanities in all their creative, social, and global dimensions, empowering students to find their voices in imagining their future and in changing the world. Integrated Life Sciences offers unparalleled, accelerated, and innovative courses and research opportunities in all areas of the life sciences, as well as service learning experiences that are designed to launch the careers of outstanding students of all majors, exploring all aspects of life sciences. Interdisciplinary Business Honors is our second new program, which offers students a big picture view of business in relation to multiple fields, life callings, and social issues, and challenges students to imagine the future of work and business. And finally, University Honors, our oldest, largest, and freshly reimagined and relaunched program with an exciting new curriculum and brand new residence halls and program space in the middle of campus. University Honors is a program which is not defined by a specific subject, but rather draws on distinguished faculty from across campus to teach fascinating courses on big questions and ideas from different disciplinary perspectives, STEM and non-STEM. Students will pursue their curiosity wherever it leads as they also encounter multiple perspectives of thinking. So, as mentioned already, every one of these programs is available to students of any major. So students can choose to be in a living learning program that is related to their major if they want to go more in depth in their chosen field of study, or they can choose a program that is the complete opposite of their major, which will give them a really great opportunity to broaden their experience during their time here. And as I mentioned, hopefully your students already know which living learning program they're in. But again, if they don't, please encourage your students to submit the preference form by April 15th.
So some of the benefits about being an honors college at the University of Maryland include students taking small discussion-based courses, many of which are smaller than the regular courses that are offered to all UMD students. Our students are typically, like I said earlier, they're typically earning their honor citation, which is a notation listed on their transcript within the first 2 years that they're here. Although, as Jeannie mentioned, our Gemstone program is a 4-year research-based program. So that's the only program that we offer that will continue throughout all 4 years. Our students are able to connect more authentically with fellow honor students and with the faculty and staff that run the programs. We also offer study abroad, internship, and research opportunities available both on and off campus. And our students in the Honors College participate fully in the life of the university. So they're not siloed away from campus. In most cases, a lot of our students are actually members of many departments and student groups across campus. And we also offer a number of social events to encourage our students to connect both with the entire Honors College community and through their specific living learning programs, to include one of the most popular events we host, our Ice Cream Socials, which feature our Maryland Dairy Ice Cream, which is so good if you haven't had it. Yeah.
So our location gives students access to many internship opportunities in the Baltimore, Washington, D.C. region. Each of our programs will bring in experts in the field of study to meet with their students. For example, the Advanced Cybersecurity Experience Program, or ACES program, has a career mentor component where experts from organizations such as the NSA will come in and talk to the students in the program about their career, how they got there, and to offer the students guidance on their careers. And for example, I also mentioned Honors Global Communities, or HGLO. Students in that program have sort of a priority access to the Federal Fellows Program, Federal Global Fellows Program, which is an internship opportunity in the DC area. Those are available to all students on campus, but the HGLO students are guaranteed a spot in that program if they want to participate. Internships are available for students both during the school year and over the summer, and there are both on and off campus opportunities.
So the University of Maryland is a research-run institution, which basically means we typically have more access to more grants, more labs, more faculty, and thus more opportunities for our undergrad students to get involved. And since, like I mentioned previously, we offer smaller class sizes within the Honors College, this actually gives our students more access to the faculty, and therefore they have more opportunities to work in the faculty labs. Research opportunities are available both on and off campus, And because of our prime geographical location, our students have easy access to research opportunities in the area, to include Johns Hopkins and the National Institutes of Health.
Many of our students participate in study abroad programs, so there's lots available. We will always recommend that students who are interested in studying abroad for a semester that they talk to their advisor about the possibilities as early as possible in their time here, and they should definitely visit the study abroad office on campus. I know the study abroad office also hosts a study abroad fair, typically probably every semester, so that's a good opportunity to learn more about those opportunities. I will acknowledge that many of our students are in majors that have heavy course loads, so it might make studying abroad for an entire semester challenging, but there are certainly students who do it, study abroad for a semester or even a year, and there are also winter, spring break, and summer study abroad options, so there's lots of options for students who are interested in pursuing this. And some of our living learning programs have a study abroad option in the curriculum. So if that's something you're interested in, it is possible that you could study abroad and also complete some of the honor citation requirements at the same time.
So at the University of Maryland, there are literally hundreds of ways to get involved across campus. But I want to just highlight a couple of the ones that we offer specifically for our honor students. So the Honors Ambassadors is a student volunteer organization that consists of our current students who are available to talk to prospective students, like the student panel that's joining us this afternoon. These students participate in all of our on-campus and virtual recruiting events. Also, we have the Black Honors Caucus, which aims to serve the university as a whole by providing a forum for diversity and discussion about the community's greatest concerns. Although the organization is sponsored by the Honors College, we open membership to all UMD undergrad students.
And once students are here, we have a scholarship office on campus, which is there to help connect our students with scholarships that fit their goals and skills. Many of our Honors College students have been very successful in applying for and winning these competitive national and international awards. So on the slide here, you'll see a few of the national awards and scholarships that our students in the Honors College have earned this past year. And just a note, as of yesterday, we learned that 3 students from the University of Maryland have been awarded the Goldwater Scholarship, and they are all Honors College students. So we're very proud of those 3 students.
And here you can see just some quick stats on our students who graduate. And this is for during the 2022 school year that includes spring, summer, and December graduation. So 72% of graduates had a job after graduation, which is fantastic. About 24% plan to attend grad school following their undergrad. And then we had some students who went into volunteer opportunities to include AmeriCorps or the Peace Corps. And then we had a small percentage of students who opted to join the military after graduation.
And for those students who had a job or attended graduate school, here are some of the types of graduate programs and career placements that our students have. The graduate programs that our students attend include med school, law school, veterinary medicine, library science, engineering, and anthropology. And some of the career placements include systems developer and software developer engineer at Amazon, a financial analyst and program manager at Microsoft Corporation, and we also have classroom teachers in the local school districts. So these are just a small sample of the many places that our students go after they graduate.
So that is the end of our formal presentation. Just a few quick notes and reminders. If your student has submitted their program preference form by our best consideration date of February 19th, they should have already received their living learning program placement. Any other students who submit after that deadline, the best consideration deadline, will have until April 15th to submit their form, which is located in their CHIRP application portal checklist. I do just want to note that at this point, we cannot guarantee a placement for those students, but we will certainly do our best to get them placed into one of our programs. And if they submit by that April 15th deadline, they should be notified by the end of April. If students plan to live on campus, please remember that they must submit their housing application along with their confirmation to attend UMD by May 15th. If your student is in integrated life sciences, interdisciplinary business honors, or ACES, our cybersecurity program, they are required to submit their housing reform, since those programs do have a living requirement. And if you or your students have any questions at all, please contact us at honorsadmissions@umd.edu. This is being recorded and it will be placed on our website at honors.umd.edu within the next couple days if you guys need to go back to it. And of course, you can follow us at Instagram at Terp Honors if you want to kind of see where we're up to. Now, I would like to turn it over to our students. I'll have them introduce themselves and then we can start answering your questions. So you can start, if you haven't done so already, go ahead and start putting your questions in the Q&A area.
I guess I can start. Hey guys, my name's Aryan. I am a freshman here at UMD. I'm a biomedical engineering major, and I'm a part of the University Honors Program.
Here you can go.
Sounds good. Hey guys, my name is Ariel. I'm a freshman here at UMD. I'm a cell bioengineers major with a data science minor, and I'm part of the Integrated Life Sciences College.
Maddie?
Hi everyone, my name is Maddie. I'm a part of the University Honors Program. I'm a freshman here, and my major is finance and marketing. And yeah.
Thank you. And last but certainly not least, Diego.
Hi everybody, I'm Diego. I'm also a freshman, and I'm a chemical engineer in the IBH, which is the interdisciplinary business honors.
And Arisha, you can also introduce yourself.
Sure. Hi, everybody. My name is Arushi Malhotra. I'm the graduate assistant for recruitment and programming here in the Honors College, and I'm a graduate of the Honors College myself. I was in the Gemstone program.
Awesome. So jumping into the questions, first thing I see, which actually is probably a common question at this point, is it possible to switch between living learning programs after you've already been placed into one of them after the first year? So I'll give you two different answers. First one is, if you already know now that you're interested in switching to a different program, you can email us at honorsadmissions@umd.edu with that request. What we'll do is we will send you a notification telling you that we received it and that we've notated it, and you'll be placed on a wait list. And after the May 15th confirmation deadline, our programs will then know what space they have available, if any at all. And then they'll be able to kind of look at their wait list to see if they can make any of those change requests. And then those students will be notified, but it will be after May 15th. For students who decide they want to switch after the fall has already started, they can request a switch at the end of their freshman year. There's an application that opens up in the spring, and they can apply to go to another program. It is contingent on space availability and the program director approval. And then also, if you've already taken classes in your current program, they will not apply to the new program if you are able to transfer. So I just want to notate that. Let's see. My son is accepted to second honors program he chose in the first round. Is it possible to be considered for his first choice again in the second round? Okay, so yeah, so that actually is a part of the answer that I just said. So if they are interested in trying to see if they're part of, if they can be switched to another program, they just have to email us and let us know that, and then we'll put them on a wait list to see if we can make that change. They'll find out after May 15th. If our students are coming in with AP credit, I hear that registration can sometimes be difficult for those students who are ahead. Do honors college students have any registration priority? So I'll answer the second part, and then I'll have our students answer. If any of you guys had any AP credits that came in, you can kind of explain how that applied and how you were able to kind of navigate the rest of your degree. So our students do not have formally, officially, they do not have registration priority, but because registration is based off of the credits that a student has, since a lot of our students do come in with transfer credit, a lot of them just by default are able to register before some of their peers. So that's the informal way. But if any of our students had any transfer credits coming in, can you kind of talk about, I know some people have a concern about if it's going to add, if our program will add on classes and kind of how that fit into your degree.
Yeah, I can definitely take this one. I'm sure many of you in the call are from MoCo. I know at MoCo is pretty heavy on APs. My school, I went to Churchill, so a lot of APs. I came in with about 40 credits of APs. And yeah, and honestly, I didn't have any problem registering for my classes first semester or for this semester, second semester. And I actually have a pretty early registration date. Like as opposed to most freshmen because of these credits. And what's also nice is a lot of the honors program classes, because they're honors program only, allow us to have that more selective classes that are automatically open for us, right? So we're not kind of competing for those classes. We kind of get them automatically, which makes it really nice and kind of makes the schedule a bit more fitted towards us. So yeah, no, not too much of a problem. And also the classes aren't too much, are always another requirement for us. So it really helps me in my major and, the qualifications that I need to graduate.
Like adding on to that. Oh, you can go, Diego, if you want.
No, you got it. You go. I'll go next.
Okay, I was just gonna add on because I know that Ariel mentioned that he had like 40 credits coming in. I had about like half that amount, and still I didn't have any problems like choosing my classes or anything like that. And it's also important to note that these classes that you're required to take within the honors college, you're not just taking them and they're not like fulfilling anything. They many of them also do fulfill gen eds, which can also help you get ahead. And like, so don't feel like you're taking these classes and like they aren't doing anything to help like get your degree, because they are. And you're also learning stuff that can be like outside of your major, like current world issues and things like that. And at first I was a little nervous about taking these classes because I wasn't sure how interested I'd be in them. But I feel like they've tailored very well to like making me a more like well-rounded person, being like in a major that like it's very like dense with the classes you're taking. You're not really like exploring anything else, so it kind of gives you a little bit of an outlet. And for registration, I would say you also get like whichever honors college you're in, you get like access to those special classes that if kids who weren't in the honor college, they like aren't allowed to take it, and only like you in the honor college, you are like allowed to take them. So I would say like that's probably my advice. I wouldn't be too stressed about it.
And I have a very specific example. So I was able to pass Calc 1 because of AP scores, and I was able to take the honors class it was really easy. You just talk to your counselor during orientation, and they're like, yeah, you can just go to the next one because you have the AP credit. So I was able to take Calculus 2, but for the honor section, and I found that to be very useful because it's a very small class, and the time schedule is a lot better than the non-honors classes, which I found to be a boost, and it really helped me because the teacher was awesome for Calc 2 honors. So just those bit of incentives are really helpful and and a great part of the honors college experience.
I wanted to jump in here because someone also asked about IB credits. We get a lot of AP credits. I think last year I learned that about 700 students were coming in with AP credits to the University of Maryland as a whole, not specific to honors. And maybe 100 or 200 students were coming in with IB. So there are definitely students who come in with IB credits as well. It's just that AP is more common than IB. There are charts available. I can find the website and post it in the chat in a minute, that show what credits students earn for which exams they take and the scores that they receive on them. There's different credit available if a student earns a 3 on an exam versus a 5, or a 4 or 5 on the IB versus a 7 on the IB. But you can see what credit students will earn based on the AP or IB exams they've taken and the grade they've earned. So that's all available, and the advisors that you meet with in the summertime when you register will absolutely help your students go through this and know for certain what credits they have, what credits they still need, and what they need to take.
Thank you. I want to address, I'm trying to group some questions together. I see some housing questions. So first thing, I see a few questions we're asking about how hard it is to maintain housing, or is housing guaranteed? So our students, as long as you complete your housing application, so speaking for your freshman year, you are guaranteed your honors housing, as long as you don't specify that you want to live somewhere else, or if you but if you're in one of those programs that have housing requirements, you're required to live there anyway. Now, if you are to get guaranteed housing, unless it's changed, you would have to stay on campus consecutively. So if you were to be on campus this year, move off campus the next year, and then try to come back, I think that's when it's not guaranteed. But as long as you're staying on campus and submitting your application by the deadline, you would have guaranteed housing. And then I see some questions about air conditioning in the resident halls. So some of our residence halls have air conditioning, some do not. For our honors programs, majority of our buildings actually do have air conditioning. The only one that does not have air conditioning as of yet is Hagerstown, sorry, is Ellicott Hall, which is where our gemstone students are housed. But everywhere else does have air conditioning. And Arush, did you want to speak about the gemstone experience without the AC?
Absolutely. I love answering this question because I know it sounds very scary at first, the no air conditioning in the residence hall. I will say from my experience, it is uncomfortable for probably a couple of weeks at the beginning of the fall semester and a couple of weeks at the end of spring semester. I'm sorry, can you guys hear me okay? Okay, excellent. Just wanted to double check. But it ends up being kind of a bonding experience. There's not really another way I can put it. All of our lounges are air conditioned, so there are air conditioned spaces within the residence hall, and the gemstone suite itself is air conditioned, which has classroom and study spaces for our gemstone students. So what ends up happening is that on some of those hotter days, students will end up going to the lounges or going to the gemstone suite, and it ends up being a really great way to meet people and make friends. Students will often bring multiple fans in the room. It ends up being a joke of how many fans do you have in your room and how many are running at a time. That being said, climate change is a thing. We've noticed it getting hotter in the past several years. So the university is taking steps to make sure that students are comfortable. And if we have any sort of extreme weather scenarios, they do look at what options we have to make sure students have appropriate housing in those situations. But to be honest, I had a really fun time at Ellicott Hall. It's always something silly going on there. And it's always a nice kind of memory and experience that you talk with people later on that, oh, I was in Ellicott Hall later too. But yeah, happy to answer additional questions about that.
Thank you. Another question I want to address is about orientation. So first, what are our orientation dates? And their addition to that question is, are our dining halls open during that time? Did you want to take that?
Yeah, so there are 3 dates for orientation that are honor specific dates. Forgive me, I'm looking at my other screen for the calendar just to make sure that I tell you the correct dates. The honor specific orientation dates are June 13th and 14th, June 26th and 27th, and July 8th and 9th. So we recommend if you can attend the honors orientation specific dates, great. We'd love to have you there. If those dates do not work for you, or there is not a spot because orientation registration is actually determined by your academic major, the important thing is that you attend an orientation date that matches with your major, because that's how you're going to be advised. So you want to make sure that you attend an orientation date that there is an academic advisor for your major there so that they can advise you on how to register for your courses for your major. That is the priority. So If you can attend the honors orientation dates, great. If that does not work for you, that is fine. I will be communicating with students throughout the summer about orientation. So students who are registered for an honors orientation date, you'll get one message from me at the beginning of the summer. Students who are registered for a non-honors orientation date, you'll get the same message from me at the beginning of the summer, and a few days before your non-honors orientation date, I will send you another email that says, hey, remember, you need to register for your honor specific course, and I will list what those course requirements are for each program. Each program is going to have a specific course or two that you need to register for. Off the top of my head, I know that University Honors students have to register for HNU H100. Honors Humanities students have to register for HUM 105. Each program has a specific course that you need to register for. You will get reminders about this. We also make sure the advisors across campus know what courses the honor students are required to register for. We'll be there helping, so don't worry about that. If you attend an honors orientation, you will have an opportunity, it's 30 minutes during the day, to meet with your LLP program students and the faculty and staff for the program. If you attend a non-honors orientation date, that meeting will not be available. That is the only difference between the two orientation sessions. So again, please don't worry if you're not able to attend an honors orientation date. It's fine. The important thing is that you get registered for your academic classes. Some of the dining halls will be open. I don't know specifically which ones, but orientation is working also. They make sure that the students do attending orientation. They have lunch, breakfast, dinner in the dining halls. I don't know for certain which ones, but they will be eating in dining halls. And there was also a question about orientation, about registering for an orientation after you receive AP exams or IB exam results. Only one of the dates happens, I think, after the AP or IB exams come out for honors specific. You don't have to wait. It's fine. We do this every single summer. The advisors are used to it. Advisors know that students take exams and they can help students register, and they'll have conversations with the students like, yes, I know you're waiting for, the exam result for this course. If you get this result, you're set. If you get another result, come talk to me. We'll figure it out. They're prepared. They're used to it. All students on campus need to register, and the exam results don't come out until sometime in July. So just attend orientation, and I promise the advisors will help you through it. Students, do you have anything to share about your experience with orientation? Do any of you remember it?
I had actually, it's really interesting. I actually coordinated with my so ILS is a pretty small group. So the way I was looking for a roommate was going through Instagram, which is probably touching on some of your guys' question on how to find roommates. That's a great way to do it. I did the Instagram page, which is really easy to find. Another one is the Finder. I actually was able to basically dig through all of the people that posted on there and find ILS people. And we kind of coordinated together and went to an orientation together. And that was probably, coming into college, can be pretty nerve-wracking. You don't know a lot of people, but most of the people that I went to orientation with are now seriously my best friends in the program and in college as a whole. Actually, Diego's there, if I'm not wrong, right, Diego? Yeah, Diego's there too with us. And we had a blast. We had such a good time, and we're all in touch still, and we hang out all the time. So have a good time. I would really recommend doing the full, the night over one if you can. I think that's a great experience and gets you also ready for the dorms.
Thank you. Go ahead, Maddie.
Yeah, I was just gonna say I'm in university honors again. And so I went around, I think late June was my orientation date. And so I also didn't know my AP scores yet. And so I just coordinated with my advisor, and she made it very easy. She deals with this all the time. It's not an uncommon thing. And so she basically told me to just just assume that you're getting credit for these classes. And if it comes out and you didn't get credit, you can sort it out by talking to me if you want to switch out one of your classes before it actually starts in August, or you can wait till next semester. And so that was very calming to hear that, and reassuring. But as for the social aspects, I did overnight as well. I stayed in Denton Hall, and I really loved it. I was able to room with my roommate that I'm actually with now. And I met a lot of her friends. She's from Maryland. I'm out of state, so I was a little nervous, but it was awesome getting to know more people, and it made going into the school year a lot smoother because I went in knowing people. I'd be like, I still say hi to people today that like I met at orientation. So I think it's a very cool opportunity that I recommend.
Thanks, guys. Next question I see is regarding studying abroad. The question's asking if study abroad is mostly for first semester, is mostly for your first semester or first year. The answer is no for that. We would recommend that you basically, if you're interested in doing study abroad, that you go to the study abroad office on campus as soon as possible so that you can start planning out when you want to actually participate in study abroad. And like Jenny said previously, there's different options. There's a winter session study abroad, you can do spring, and then we do have, when you have a semester option too. We do have had students that have done the semester option, but of course they planned it ahead of time to make sure that they weren't going to be behind in their studies. Are any of you planning on doing study abroad, to kind of speak on like any research or anything that you've done already or info that you have?
So I am. So the good thing about the University of Maryland is that it is very accommodating. So unfortunately, I finished a good chunk of my gen eds because of AP credits. I came in with 35 credits and the honors classes help cover my other gen eds. And I'm a bioengineering major, so a lot of my classes are very STEM heavy and they couldn't necessarily be taken abroad. But as a result, I'm not necessarily able to take a complete semester off. But the University of Maryland has been very accommodating in the sense that I am studying abroad next summer, hopefully in Spain. So you can be very accommodating in that sense. I had a friend who actually went to Spain for their spring break and they had a great time for the past 10 days because once again, they're also a accounting major and they couldn't take a lot of their classes abroad. So the University of Maryland is very accommodating in that sense. You could also take study abroad over winter break. That's also an option. I know somebody that went to Australia over winter break. So it really is, what really matters is you deciding that you want to study abroad as early as possible and communicating that to your advisor so you can possibly build a schedule around that. And once you're able to do that, I'm pretty sure that the University of Maryland can accommodate you and your needs.
Thank you. There's a question, or Arisha, are you answering the transcript question? Did you want to answer that one?
Oh, yeah, I meant to type in and then press the
Oh.
live one, but you may have seen a message in the chat about a transcript. Some of our students use an AI note-taking option that automatically sends a message. We're not producing a transcript for this meeting, but we are recording it and you'll be able to access it on our website afterwards.
Thank you. Okay, let's see a couple other questions. So we see priority. Okay, so what is the percentage of honors college students who receive scholarship of any type? Can it be appealed or reevaluated on a yearly basis? So I don't have the percentage of how many of our students have actually earned scholarships. I will say for freshman year, because we do offer merit scholarships, a lot of our students, just based off the fact that they're probably at the top of their class in regards to academics, they typically, most of our students will typically be offered some type of merit scholarship, but it isn't guaranteed. It is still based off of merit. As far as if it can be appealed or reevaluated, and then opportunities for other scholarships throughout the time that you're at the university, definitely would recommend that you contact the Office of Financial Aid. They are able to kind of go over options with you. And then we do have a scholarship office on campus. So like Jenny mentioned before about like the Goldwater scholarship and all the other ones that you saw on the slide previously, you can go to the scholarship office on campus and kind of start looking at those and seeing if you're eligible to apply and stuff of that nature. Okay, so I'd love to get everyone's perspective of the level of rigor in the coursework compared to any of your previous experience in AP or IB coursework.
Yeah, I'll jump in just real quick to give my perspective on it. Like I said before, I took quite a few APs. Um, and I think APs are a very good way at sometimes to really kind of gauge, gauge what a college course is maybe in pace. But in reality, when I came in, I took too much stock into the fact that APs are supposed to give you college credit. And that basically made me take a pretty crazy first semester course load. It's really easy to think coming into college about all the great academics that you've always wanted to do. But it's really, really easy to forget about all the social aspects and the adjustment. I saw a question also down about the adjustment. The adjustment is really about the lifestyle. You're not living at home anymore. You're in dorms. You're probably, at the first look fair, you join some clubs. Your time is more spread out. You have to really know how to manage your time and also know how to really coordinate yourself differently now that you're not in high school. So, just a word of advice, I'd say if you did go down APs, that's great. That's awesome. Use that credit for your advantage, but make sure when you come in to really take it easy. You have 4 years. Enjoy your time here. Really look at that social aspect before you completely nosedive into all those academics that I know you'll want to do.
Sorry, can I jump in with two
To start
things?
this, go for it.
Sorry.
Yeah.
First, I also want to point out we've talked a lot about AP and IB. There are absolutely students in honors who come in with 0 credits, because not every single school offers AP and IB courses. So I know we're talking a lot about AP and IB, but we know that not everyone has it, and that's fine. There are still students who are, they complete their degree in 4 years, even coming in with 0 credits. Second, I wanted to ask Ariel, you mentioned First Look Fair. Do you want to explain what that is?
That's a great point. Yeah, I'd love to. The first look fair is at the second or third week of the semester in the fall. The entirety of McKeldin Mall, for which of those of you that don't know what that is, that's basically our main center of where campus is. It's where our library's on one end and the administrative building is on the other. It's basically a long fountain, and there's a lot of very pretty, especially now with all the flowers, grass on both sides. And there are quite literally hundreds of clubs with hundreds of tables lined up from beginning to end. And it ranges from everything between social clubs, sports clubs, if you're interested in that, intramurals, different things like help center and volunteering opportunities. I also saw a question about, if we can jump into that, I guess, real quick. Also, is like clubs on campus, right? I actually found a few clubs. I'm in the kidney disease screening and prevention initiative, which spreads information about kidney disease and its prevalency in the communities around here. Also, I'm part of Phi Delta Epsilon, which is the pre-medical fraternity on campus. And that's just, 2 of hundreds. So you can definitely find your place here, and definitely go to the First Look Fair. That's one of the best experiences I've had.
Alrighty. Thanks for that. For the next question, does the Honors College feel like a separate school than the rest of UMD? Or are they somewhat integrated? I want to actually combine that with another question to be answered, which is there's a concern in regards to the size of UMD, and how does the Honors College actually mitigate the fact that it is a large university?
Personally, I don't think there's much discrepancy between, the Honors College and the Maryland College in some respects. It's due to the fact that, like, obviously I live in Prince Frederick, which is a hall mostly for 3 of the honors colleges, one of them being IBH. And so every day I wake up and I walk down the hallway and I see at least three other people who are in my honors college, which is always awesome because it basically feels like a community. But also I'm a chemical engineer, so I don't spend much time in South Campus, which most of the STEM classes or my STEM classes are in the north side of campus. So I'm gonna run into a lot of my friends that live in the Ellicott halls, Hagerstown, all those halls up north. And it's really great to find balances between the honors college and the just the everybody else in Maryland. So I think it's like sometimes they're two worlds, but at the same time it's all under one campus. And sometimes you might be like, whoa, people from high school are now friends with my people in Maryland. Like you're always one person away. It's crazy. You're always one person away from somebody else. Like, my friend? And like, yeah, like, and then it just like flicks and it's just like it's awesome. So hopefully that answered the question.
Yeah,
Speaking to,
oh, you
go for it,
go,
go
you
for it.
go. Are you sure?
Okay, speaking to the size, yeah, it's okay.
No, go.
So speaking to the size of UMD, okay. Speaking to the size of UMD, I know it can be very intimidating in some senses. I'm also an out-of-state student like Maddie, and so it was really hard for me to just come to terms with the fact that I'm going to go to a very large state school that isn't my state school. But the good thing about the honors colleges, and I know Diego kind of touched on this before. So I took Calc 1 my first semester, and it was kind of really intimidating, especially when you're used to like smaller classes in high school to move to like 120 people lecture. So this semester, I'm actually in the honor section for Calc 2, and it is only about 15 kids. It's very hands-on. The meeting times are more convenient. And it's not just those classes, it's also every single honors class we take, all the clusters that I've taken so far. I'm pretty much done with my honors citation. I'll be done by the end of this semester. But every single honors class we've taken, they're very hands-on. And the most important part is that they're very small compared to a lot of the other STEM classes you take, or just compared to a lot of gen ed classes you take. They're about 20 to 25 kids max. And some are as small as like 10 to 15. And that makes it really important in the sense that I guess it matters who you are. Like when you show up to class, like, like, everybody. It's very interactive, and more importantly, I school. So I guess it makes the transition coming into college much easier than what it would.
Yeah, what I was gonna say to just like add on to that, um, was about how I know Diego said that he would just like walk through his hallway and see people that he knew, and it was like really reassuring, being like oh, like I'm in classes with these kids, and it's also very helpful like doing work together, and you feel the sense of unity and knowing that like you're not alone and you're all achieving like a similar goal together. And I know someone else asked something specific for like a business major and like class sizing and stuff. And I think this kind of applies to like any school really. Like, sure, there's some lectures that can be big and intimidating with like 100 kids or something. Um, but I think it goes for any major, that there's discussions, there's office hours, there's guided study sessions. There's so many ways to get involved into like a smaller group if you're stressed out about feeling like not being able to access like faculty help and stuff like that. But I think what I've learned here is that there's a lot of options to help you, um, if you're ever like struggling or just need like a quick answer, like one-on-one time, you can definitely get that within any college. And specifically, like for me being a business major, I haven't had any trouble. I felt very supported.
Thank you. So that's actually a great segue to the next question. What has been the biggest adjustment in transitioning from high school to the UMD honors program? And you can also talk about UMD in general. Also, how would you characterize your experiences thus far being a part of the Honors College?
Well, high school and college are kind of two different beasts in that high school is very it's very rigid in the structure, but college is very like fluid. Like I feel like you decide very much of what you want to do. Like I catered my schedule to wanting to go to all my clubs, wanting to have all my classes, and you can always, you know, like it's not like wake up at 7:45, go to all seven periods. It's nothing like that. It's kind of going to office hours, and you get great connections with your teachers. And like in high school, I was never able to have like strict times to meet my teachers. But in college, they set times just for you, just for people who need help. And it's really easy to make connections with your teachers and your peers, and everyone's trying to work together towards this one goal of graduating. So it's very nice.
Something I really like to talk about with my transition, especially I think overall in any honors college and any in the honors college as a whole, is in high school for me. The classes are about 30 people, kind of like what Maddie said. Um, and then you come here, and as you know, a bio major, you have these huge lecture halls, right? I had a general chemistry class last semester that had, I think, 250 people in one section, right? And that can be very intimidating. And I think one of the most amazing parts of being in the honors college and in ILS particularly is that this semester I'm taking genetics, which is one of the first bio classes that you take as a bio major. And normally that's again one of those classes that's like 250, 300 people, in one class. In my class, it's only ILS, meaning that my cohort of about 80 people are there in the class. And that means that we actually we talk in the class, right? Like the professor asks us questions. We raise our hands, we discuss. And that was something big for me, that student teacher interaction is something that in college I'd never imagined, right? That I would really get, especially in those basic bio courses. And it's something that ILS gives me, and being able to work with my fellow peers, right? Just like together and do worksheets and then turn it in is something that I don't think any other program when I was looking at other places really offered.
Thank you. Let's see. Okay, so this is another segue. Thanks, Ariel. Does your programs assist with helping your students decide on career paths? I will even open that up to just say different opportunities, whether that's academic, professional, as they move forward in the program.
I would say definitely, yeah. So I know a common misconception is that if, like, let's say you're a bio major, you should join ILS. Like, the good thing about the honors college is that the program you join can be completely different than what your major is, just so that you can sort of explore whatever you want to do. I have a friend that's a bio major that's in the business school, in the IBH program, and it's just so that they can sort of cater towards that experience. It's just so that they can know what they want to do, because I know it can be very intimidating, specifically picking a major, and then when you pick a major, being really sure that this is what you want to do with the rest of your life. But in that sense, the honors college is very flexible. And to add on to that, I think the classes that we take are also very informative, in the sense that I am a STEM major, so I really wouldn't have taken a lot of the humanities classes we're taking. But this semester, I am taking sustainable agriculture and a systemic racism class. And I never thought I would be taking a sustainable agricultural class in college, but it's just such a cool experience getting to go to the greenhouse and see my tomato plants grow every day. I think it just sort of caters towards, like, me and my friend and I, we just joined a gardening club at UMD. I think the honors college just lets you have different experiences, so that you can not only know your major, but also sort of know your passions, and just sort of it caters towards that as much as possible.
I couldn't get off mute. Just adding on to that, Ariel, can you talk about the help? Because I know specifically for ILS, they do give you extra help if you're pre-med and stuff like that.
Yeah, 100%. So I think actually, I think like Arian was saying, actually, I think one of those misconceptions is actually that ILS is only catered towards pre-med, very bio specific students. And honestly, coming in, I thought so too. In all honesty, I think it's very easy to get that impression. But people in my program, people live right across the hall from me. They're CS majors, they're environmental science majors, some are even marketing majors. It really is, I think, like you said about Arian said about the experiences, right? You want to kind of get your hands wet in that kind of field. But yeah, so one of the things in ILS is that we have a 240-hour research requirement and a 25-hour volunteering requirement. Of course, that's subject to how much however much you want. As a bio major, that's very helpful. Someone who wants to go to medical school, that's very nice. It kind of pushes you and advances you towards that research that you need to do, that what med schools want to see you do. and it also connects you with professors that want to do research. So ILS has very nice connections across all different colleges within the university to get into that research. But that's not just in biology. That's not just wet lab. It can be clinical. It can be geological research. I've heard of sociological research. It can even be historical research, just working with old files and translating data sets, right? So when you really are thinking about ILS, I'd say, yeah, if you're more interested in STEM, more interested in med school, but if you don't feel like if you're not bio, you can't join. You know, there's just such a diverse range of people here, and it's really great. And also, just to add on to the characterizing my experience, I think everyone here can say from their different programs too, is that's cooperative. That's the main thing. I think none of the honors programs are competitive. We work together. That's why it's a living learning program. We are in the same classes together. We're working towards the same goals. A lot of times, you know, you never are competing for that grade because most of the classes don't have curves in the first place to kind of separate the different grades. There's no set grade range. So it's all about working together and doing the best for everyone. And that's been something amazing because you're also, the lounge, the student lounge is right next to us. And before exam dates, we have one next week. I can tell you already, it's going to be packed full with like 50 students, and we're all going to be talking about the problems and going over practice sets. And that's probably, you know, exams can be scary, but I look forward to that every time.
Thank you. So next question, we're just gonna hop over to housing again, and then we'll go back to some other questions. Do most honor students choose to live in the honors dorm sophomore year, or do they move off campus? I don't have any statistics on that, but did any of you guys want to kind of speak on what your choice was, or even if you had like friends who did something different?
You can go, Diego.
So for me personally, I chose to live on the I chose to live in Prince Frederick again, which was really helpful because I was able to find a lot of the honors students in my dorm to join me. And I know a lot of people who are deciding to maybe going back home or, you know, commuting. And I know for me, once junior year and senior year hit, I'm definitely going to want to live in the apartments nearby, as that's going to be very beneficial for me because I really like the experience of living on campus. But it's different for a lot of people. Some people like, you know, going home every weekend, and some people like staying home every weekend. So it's really dependent on how you feel. But for me, the fact that, sorry for the noise, but the fact that IBH gives the opportunity to live at the same hall for the second year gives me a lot of comfort knowing that I could repeat what I did and go and do the same things I did this year, but for next year.
My experience is a little different. I live in Johnson Middle Hall, which is on the north side of campus, and I opted to live in an apartment next year for my sophomore year. And I know a lot of people who are basically like they were allowed to live in Prince Frederick for 2 years, or they had an opportunity to continue living in third honors dorms for another year. I think I know with Peon Chen and Johnson Middle, it can get a little bit competitive going into like your second year. And I hear it's mostly like honor students and athletes who are in those dorms, especially with like how new they are. So it's a bit more challenging to get that into your second year. But I would say I know a lot of my close friends are also living in apartments on and off campus. Being that, and all of the people that I'm rooming with next year, I'm living with 3 other girls, and I've met them all through people on my floor. They all live on my floor. Well, one of them is my roommate currently, but the people I'm rooming with are actually like right next door, which is so nice. Being able to meet these people and then connecting with them on such a deep level where it's like, I would love to room with you next year as well. And for like off-campus apartments, there's so many options with like we chose one that was kind of in between like engineering, which is like north side of campus, and then I'm in the business school, so I'm kind of all the way on south, so we chose like a good medium. So there's many options for that.
Thank you. So can we talk about the possibilities of participation in research projects, specifically, is asking specifically for science related departments? If any of you guys have any experience kind of like working in faculty labs or even going through the process of requesting it and kind of making those connections?
Yeah, I guess I'll take this just because of, you know, the like I said before, the research requirement for ILS. Another thing is actually, it's not an ILS specific course. I'm pretty sure, I think it's an honors wide course. There's a course called BSci 279H. That's a class that's actually a 1 credit catalyst seminar, meaning that you go there and you just listen to presentations from different professors. And that's basically meant to spur ideas about research and also connect you to those PIs, right, or those researchers on campus and those professors. I actually personally didn't take it. I did research before coming to college, and my plan is to I'm applying currently to labs across campus, which again are very applicable, but they're also it's very easy to find them. One of the nice things too is that having this connection system through your honors program and the honors college as a whole is that you can see from years past and you connect with those people that came before you, right? So a lot of times they'll have similar interests as you. So the way I actually found my lab was through a past ILS, member, and it's actually research that I did similar to what I did before coming to college. So it's really easy to find them. They're all over the place. You just have to send an email. It'll take a few cold emails. Those professors are filled with emails and work to do beforehand. But yeah, I think one of the greatest parts about the honors college overall is that support system, and that support system transcends your own year. So again, a lot of mentorship goes into it.
I can also add a little bit about the research on campus. UMD is a Research One university, which means that this place is crawling with research opportunities, truly. Some of them are integrated into our honors programs. For example, Gemstone is a 4-year research program. Several of our other programs have final capstone or keystone projects, such as honors humanities or design cultures and creativity, where students will do an independent project, perform research or service or some sort of independent activity based on a topic that they're interested in. So sometimes we have that integrated right into the honors curriculum. And sometimes, as Ariel said, students will go out and they will apply to other labs on campus. You can often find these on the department websites, whether it's Department of Computer Science or Public Health or Biology or History. Many will list their labs and contacts on the website. So sometimes it's as easy as sending an email. Sometimes students will go up to professors after class or visit during office hours. And sometimes you don't know you want research until you're on campus. That's how I was. I never did research before coming here. And now part of why I'm very thankful for Gemstone is I realized I love it. So whether your student knows what they want to do or not, there will be plenty of opportunities for them to explore.
Yeah, Rishi, and since we have your expertise on this webinar, could you actually talk about post honors and UMD, like how you've actually used your experience gained in Gemstone for jobs and grad interviews, applications, stuff like that?
Absolutely. I have mentioned Gemstone in probably every single job or internship application or interview that I've done. One of my favorite parts about Gemstone and honors is that there really are tangible actions and projects or classes that you've taken that you can talk about later on. So I can tell my employers I've performed 3-year research. I've become knowledgeable about this subject matter. Similar for students who are doing keystone or capstone projects, that's something that you have done on your own. You did the work, you can talk about it. But even beyond the actual projects, because we are a living learning community, there are some values and skills that we care about and we teach to our students that are applicable everywhere. A lot of that is collaboration. I learned how to work on a team research project. I learned how to work with people to plan events for my community. A lot of it is pushing through challenges, right? Research itself presents challenges, or working through COVID. COVID happened when I was a student at UMD. So learning how to adjust to online and come back in person and build that community again. Some of our students have the opportunity to study abroad, so they can talk a little bit about their cultural competency and skills that they've gotten there. So it's hard to describe it just in one sentence, But generally, I think some of the great parts about being in the honors college here at UMD is that we focus on giving you a well-rounded experience, giving you not only the academic knowledge and tools that you need, but also those people skills, those the ability to really talk to people, connect with people. Those are the things that you'll take in addition to your GPA and your project and whatever. But that ability to connect with other people, talk about your experience, and listen well.
Thank you. So let's see. Real quickly, there's a question in regards to orientation. Is it only for students or can the parents attend as well?
Yeah, so the Office of Orientation offers the new student orientation, and they also offer a parent and family orientation. The new student orientation is typically most students to participate in a 2-day orientation, so it's an overnight. The parent orientations are typically the first day of the new student orientation. Most times parents will attend the parent and family orientation that is the same, that lines up with their new student orientation that their student is attending, but you don't have to. If your new student is attending an orientation date in June, you are welcome to register for a parent and family orientation in July if that's what works for your schedule. So yes, there is a parent and family orientation. More information at the orientation website. I can put that in the chat in just a moment.
Thank you. And then a couple questions regarding, I see a couple questions regarding open house. So let's see, 1 second. So the question is for an uncommitted student who is attending the upcoming open house, what would you recommend the student do to aid in their decision? So one, I would say if you're trying to figure out how the Honors College can help, hopefully this information session helps you. There's also, we have info sessions on all of our different programs on our website. But more specifically, students, can you give any advice if there's a student right now who's on the fence? What would you recommend they do or suggest that they do at this time, kind of to try to help them out?
I would say, well, I am a tour guide here at UMD, so I would say if you haven't toured UMD, I think you definitely should. I was in a similar position. I was on the fence. I did not commit until May 1st. I waited until the deadline. I was very on the fence in all the programs and all the schools I got accepted into. But I think the biggest thing that sold me on UMD was not only the honors college and just sort of the cultural competency and the experiences you get with the honors college, but the tour, because I think UMD's campus really is one of the best campuses. Fun fact, we actually have the biggest collegiate mall of all college campuses. So you should definitely tour UMD, and we do use McKellen Mall all the time, as Ariel mentioned before, for the first look fair. So definitely tour UMD, and then more than that, I guess just get as much resources. I mean, if you're a part of the honors college, just I guess like look at all the resources we have online, because it truly is a close-knit community that is here to support us all. Because I think in high school, it's a very cutthroat competition, especially when college acceptances come by. It is very a dog-eat-dog world. But I think I realized when I came to college that the honors college is here to support us all. There isn't a sense of competition amongst us, versus it's just everybody trying to help each other to get as much experience as possible. So definitely look at all the resources we have online, and most importantly, just tour our campus, because I think that really is the biggest selling point.
I'd say, oh, sorry.
No, you go.
Thank you. I'd say not UMD even specific. I think we'll at the end talk about why we chose UMD, and I can talk more about that then. But I'd just say for anyone on the fence, like Arian, everyone has, this is a hard decision. I think at the moment it feels like a very big decision, and at the end of the day, it is. The thing that really helped me is make a pro-con list for every school. See what really matters to you. Like Arian said, come tour those schools. Make sure that you see how it is, because at the end of the day, you're going to be walking, right? Really, when you come to the tour, really imagine yourself walking through this place every day. And that's something really nice about UMD. It's a pretty campus. It's very accessible. The story I like to tell is a month ago I tore my ACL. So when you think about this huge campus that's unnavigate, you can't navigate and you can't get from one end to the other on time. I did that on crutches for 2 weeks, and I'm doing that now with a busted knee. So, you know, it's big. It's a big campus. It's about 20-minute walk from end to end, but it's manageable. And especially, I think, when you're in the honors college, any of the dorms really you get are really nice and in central locations. I'm lucky enough to be at La Plata. 20 minutes before this call, I'll be honest with you guys, I was at Epley, our gym here, and I was working out. I finished my workout 20 minutes before this call started, and I hustled back. It's 2 steps. It's out the door. So yeah, no, really, really imagine yourself how you would feel, you know, being here for the next 4 years, and see what's really important for you. List those values and see which school really connects with that.
Thank you, and I'm so sorry that you got injured. I'm sorry.
I wanted to add, the advice that the students have already shared is fantastic. My additional advice is talk to students. When you come here for the admitted student open house, I don't know if any of the 4 of you are participating in. Diego's nodding yes. So you guys might be, you might be able to meet these students in person. If you come to the honors info sessions, you know, we will have students at every single one of our honors info sessions, the academic college breakouts in the morning. We'll have current students. If you go on a tour, you'll have a tour with maybe Arian or maybe, you know, another colleague of his who works with the Maryland Imagers. So talk to the students, get to know them, ask your questions, ask them about their experiences. That's why we have students, because they really are our best selling point, because they can talk about their experiences and what they've gotten out of this. I also wanted to address, there was a question about someone's attending Admitted Student Day next Monday. Great, we'll see you there. And there was a question about, do we advise you to attend the open house and the Maryland Day? Those are 2 very different things. I just want to point out, but they're both great experiences. The admitted student open house, the target audience is admitted students. And so we're really working to give the admitted students the information that they need to make a decision about where they want to attend the University of Maryland. It's a great experience, great opportunity to attend and learn more about the university as a student. Maryland Day is a campus-wide open house for everyone in the entire community. So not admitted student focused, but a great opportunity. It's a great experience for families. I used to come and attend when my kids were little, before we got too busy with sports on the weekends and stuff. But there's lots of opportunities for kids, for families, for everyone in the entire community to come and experience the campus. So 2 different targets, different purposes, but they're both great experiences and a great opportunity to visit and experience the campus.
Also, I'm going to butt in. Host-a-days. You're an honors student. Shout out to Rushi, I guess. Host-a-days, really fun. You know, if you go to the honors website, you can actually schedule and connect with someone in one of the colleges. You can come here for a day, actually, and we'll take you around. We'll go to the dining hall. You'll come to our classes. You'll see how it is. I think that's probably the single greatest resource you have about deciding about Maryland. Come over, see what it's like to live a day here. It'll be really fun. So definitely do that.
Nice plug. So I do see the question, jumping back to housing. If you're in the honors college, in honors dorm, can you request a roommate who is not in the honors program? So the quick answer for that is usually no. The priority for our residence halls is for our students. However, if you're not in one of the programs who require you to live there, like ILS, ACES, IBH, you could put in a request with a non-honor student to live outside of our honors residence halls. So that is a possibility. That's something that you'll have an option to look into once the roommate stuff comes up and roommate finder. And do any of you guys want to talk about roommate finder and how that kind of helped you guys? Did any of you guys use it? You did?
I was I didn't really know who was gonna be my roommate. So on the last day, I was just looking through all my messages because I don't know, and I text this guy and then we call and we're like, we look compatible, and then we met up during the summer, and it was really cool. Like, you know, it's just like these are real people messaging you, and then like you can message them. and he's a chilled guy. I mean, now he's like one of my good friends, and we're roommates, and it's just like a little like spontaneous. Oh yeah, let me text him back, or let me text him, and then boom, you're roommates, and now you're friends for life. So it's pretty cool.
Also adding on outside of the roommate finder, how I found my roommate was specifically through Instagram, basically. And they might have an account already. I'm sure they probably do. It's gonna be like UMD 2028. And you can like see their bios, and then a lot of the times they'll be like, oh, I'm in this honors college or this one, and they'll be like, oh, okay, now I know like that they're in this college, like I'll be able to room with them, and then just reach out, and that's how I met my roommate. So I think that was also a very good resource.
Thank you. Next question. Can you talk about the racial diversity in the Honors College? So 2 parts to that. If you want specific data, or specific information, I would recommend that you contact us at honorsadmissions@umd.edu, and we can kind of chat with you about that. But you're asking in regards to each of the different programs. So since we have a few of our programs on, can any of you guys talk about the diversity that's in your particular program? And then I'll also add on to other opportunities for diversity in the Honors College.
Yeah, I guess I can take this one. I think UMD, first of all, as a big state school, I think coming in here, you expect. So it's also an important thing for me to have a diverse school. I think it is one of the best and greatest attributes of a school like Maryland. You have every walk of life, every background. My parents did not go to undergrad in the U.S., so I didn't know what to expect. And that's true, actually, surprisingly, for a lot of people that I met here too. So you get that sense, right? I think when I was going through the process, I was kind of scared. It's kind of, demeaning. It's condescending to not know what to expect. So when you get here and you find that community for yourself, of how, of other people who went through the same thing and are now going through college without kind of that parental support, that really helps. Besides that, also, again, ILS has every walk of life, a lot of people from everywhere, and that's true for Maryland as a whole. For me, one of the important things for me was building a Jewish community. So I go to Hillel. A lot of my friends are Muslim, and they go to the Muslim Student Association. We have every type of student association here. We have Asian Student Association, East Asian, Vietnamese, I've heard, Korean. You have cultural centers for every type, and the chapel accommodates for every religious holiday throughout the year. So it really is great and extremely accommodating, and just so fun to meet different people with different viewpoints.
Did you take your mic off, Diego, before? Oh, okay. Did anyone else want to share? Okay.
I can jump in really quickly on this one. I grew up in an area that was not very diverse, and so coming to UMD, I had like a bit of a culture shock. And I remember on my second floor Ellicott in Gemstone, my dad was going down the rooms looking at the names. He goes, hey, looks like there's a lot of Indian names here. And it was so exciting for me to meet people who celebrated the same holidays I did, or knew about certain snacks and foods that my family would have. But even more, it was very exciting to meet other people. And I went to my first Shabbat dinner junior year. It was so fun. And I truly think that UMD's diversity is one of its biggest assets. It was something that I didn't consciously think about when I was picking it, but I am so grateful for it. And it goes beyond racial and ethnic diversity. It's diversity, as Ariel said, in all forms. And it's really a special place to be able to learn from people, not just in the classroom, but also outside the classroom.
Absolutely. And just to re-emphasize and add on to what Ari already said, we do have culture centers for all different students, clubs, organizations for all different backgrounds. Within the Honors College specifically, we have a couple different options. I mentioned earlier in our presentation, we have what we call the Black Honors Caucus, which is a group of a student leadership organization that's open to all students across campus. but they go over the different concerns within the community. And for those that don't know, UMD is a PWI, which is family like institution. And then also we have Prepared Connections, which is a mentoring program that's specifically for our first generation students and also our underrepresented minority students. So those are a couple of different options specifically for honor students. And of course, there's plenty of other opportunities to get involved with in diversity things across campus. But again, if you have any like specific questions in regards to that, feel free to email us at honorstechnicians@umd.edu. Next couple questions really quickly. I'm gonna add these two together since they're kind of related and we're running out of time. So can you all, each one of you, talk about why you chose UMD? And then also, if you want, can you add your perspective of what the major contribution has been from so far, because a lot of you are, you know, underclassmen right now, but major contribution that you see that UMD has besides giving you increasing your academic skills.
I think Arushi mentioned this before, but it's more than just the academics here at UMD because you can all have high GPAs, you can all be in competitive majors. But I think at the end of the day, it comes down to how you interact with people, just the communication skills we have. I mean, the fact that this was an opportunity, I'm an honors ambassador, and it has been a great opportunity for me to interact with people. Every time I'm able to, I guess, interact with a new group of people that I maybe wouldn't have before. And just attend events and just talk to parents and just present myself in a way that I present myself professionally to other people out there. But more than that, I chose UMD because of its proximity to home. I live in New Jersey, so this is a school that isn't that far off from me. Additionally, because of the campus, as I mentioned before, the academics, and more than that, its proximity to DC and just the opportunities we have here at the Honors College. Adding on to the DC point, it is also very easy to get to DC. We have a bus that takes you to the metro station, and then the metro costs you maybe $2 at best, and then you're right in the heart of DC. So I know some of my friends have internships there, some of my friends work there over the summer, some of my friends work there over the weekends, some of my friends actually stay there, so they go home pretty conveniently. So I think it's a range of factors, but it really is what you make out of it. But there are just so many opportunities here at UMD, specifically with the Honors College, that you'll have a lot of time to interact with people and just sort of gain experience.
Yeah, I think actually that's a perfect question also to answer another question in the chat, which is about the mentorship. So coming to UMD, I knew I wanted to come to UMD. You know, first of all, I want to go to medical school, and there's great opportunities here. But one of the greatest things actually that I only half realized when I committed here was the mentorship. So in the last semester, this is another small anecdote I'd like to share. The last semester I had, I think it was four total advising meetings, right? So that means I have an advisor for my major who helps with my course load. I have an advisor, a normal college advisor, right? That talks to me about my progress at the university. I have a ILS advisor, which is JLo, which is our assistant director, who is amazing and, you know, talks to me how I'm doing and how ILS is feeling for me. And I have an HPAB, which is our pre-medical advising office. So I met with 4 different advisors in the course of my first semester here. And that's something that's hard to imagine as someone who's coming in as a freshman, and it gives you just so much more insight into how to navigate this, you know, very difficult, but very also manageable through that kind of world of college, especially when you come in here first. So that ability to use all those resources between the Honors College and Maryland as a whole is something really special. And another thing, I'm just going to answer really quick here. Another thing that was important to me was, like I said, the Jewish community. There's a huge Jewish community here. Just talking about anti-Semitism completely, you know, objectively. UMD is great with that. The UMD police and the College Park police have been great with that. I think also there's a lot to say about the dialogue that UMD has enabled to open up with in light of recent events. So it's something that can be scary on the news. I know a lot of my family members ask me this a lot, but Maryland is a very accepting place. It's a very safe place for people of all walks of life, really. So that's something also that's very impressive in light of what you can see in other places.
I would say for my experience choosing UMD, I would say it's a very work hard, play hard school. Um, like just there's so many different opportunities. I think it's a very awesome like combination of everything. You can do everything here. Um, I would say I definitely want it to be like like a little far from home, but not too far where it wasn't doable. But I live 5 hours away. I live in Connecticut. And so I knew that I wanted a school to be kind of close to me, but also where I could form my own experiences. And in my high school, I was the only person in my graduating class to go to Maryland. Um, so that was very daunting at first, but then I found that there's a community for everybody to get involved in, and also being close. I have family in Maryland. Um, and also, I really felt like I was wanted here at Maryland at first. Like compared to other schools and like acceptance letters and stuff like that, it's really the little things. Um, sure, like I get accepted into some of these schools, but I didn't feel wanted like Maryland. Um, and also, I would definitely say the honors college definitely did have a little bit of a pull on me for my incentive to come here. But I would say like it's been really great so far, and I have no like regrets with anything. And I really recommend for all of you thinking about Maryland to look into all the different communities that you can get involved in, because I truly believe there's something for everybody.
Um, I don't really have like a very extravagant reason on why I came to Maryland, but I think when making the decision, I have no regrets about it because I found the group of people that everyone. It's funny because you see, like a lot of my people from high school, because I went to MoCo, they went to UMD, and there are a lot of like the shy kids, and I see them with like big groups of people, and I'm like, wow, like that's so awesome. Like everyone's finding their cliques. Like every time I see someone from my school, I see them with a brand new people, and I'm like, wow. And I mean, the same thing applies to me. So yeah, I don't really have any wholeheartedly. It became more than what I believed it to be once you step on campus. Because you always speculate in your mind, what's it going to be like? And then once you're on campus, the script unfolds, and then that's just kind of how it is. So I really like UMD.
Awesome. And 30 seconds and before I wrap up, but I see one more question coming, and you did a good job at answering all our questions. Number one. But the last question, since you're talking about what you like about UMD, do any of you guys want to say anything that you dislike about UMD? It's fine.
Um, I could start off by just saying I don't necessarily think it's a flaw, but I think it goes for a lot of big schools, and I think everyone knows what I'm gonna say, maybe, or at least be like, yeah. But I would say the construction is definitely something that a lot of students like to point out, and I really don't think it's that big of a deal, but I do think that you have to realize that some of this stuff is meant for basically like for something new, something more innovative, for the campus to be better. And so you have to remind yourself of that. And it's really not that like um, daunting or anything, but I would say walking around campus, like it helps you find new ways around campus, explore new areas that like I've never been before. I wouldn't say it's that big of a flaw. I think it goes for any big school who wants to create something bigger, something better. So yeah.
I will say this though. I think UMD is what you make out of it, and I think that applies to any school out there. It is truly what you make out of it. It truly depends on how involved you want to be. And I always end all my tours with this, but fun fact, tour guides actually don't get paid. So if I really didn't love it here, I really would not be giving all those tours. And we don't get paid to do this either. We're all doing this for free. So if we really didn't love it here, we wouldn't be on this panel right now. So it truly is what you make out of it. And just tour the campus and just try to have fun, because UMD has so many opportunities, especially the honors college, that it's going to be mind-blowing, and it's going to change your life forever.
Mario, did you want to say something? I can't tell.
Yeah, sure. I'll just say, I feel like it's only fair to address also the negatives. I like my mom's cooking. I think everyone does. I hope everyone does. I love my mom's cooking. I miss my mom's cooking. The dining hall is not my mom's cooking. On the other hand, so that was kind of going through my mind the first few months I was here. But then my friend came actually from a different school, a different big state school that I will not name. And she sat down at the dining hall and she just looked around and she was just in absolute shock. She took food and she sat down. She's like, what are you guys even complaining about? Like, this is the best dining hall food I've seen in my life. The dining hall food here is good at the end of the day. You have infinite options, you have an option for everyone. It's easy to complain about when it's not your mom's food, but if I had to choose one place to not eat my mom's food, it'd be here. So there you go. That's my one thing I don't love about Maryland.
Thank you guys so much. So that concludes our information session and Q&A. We hope that you were able to learn something that you didn't know already. I want to say a special thank you to our honors ambassadors. As we've mentioned, they do not get paid for this. This is completely volunteer out of their schedule. So we really appreciate them taking the time out to talk to you guys. If you have any questions, I put our email in the chat. It's honorsadmissions@umd.edu. Please feel free to email us. That's what we're there for. If you have any specific questions following up. And for those who have not completed their preference form yet, please do so by April 15th. Thank you so much, guys. We hope to see you in the fall.